So Shraddha, it gives me great pleasure to welcome you to the SECHI's platform. Really thanks and grateful to have you here.
Yeah, it's
So
a pleasure.
This topic of break to breakthrough, my God, such a positive connotation to something like a career break.
Yes.
I myself have experienced this when my daughter was born and I had to take a break and it was really tough getting back into the corporate career.
Yeah, I know. So I'll just tell you how it all started. So break to breakthrough obviously literally means from a break to hopefully, getting a breakthrough, discovering something, discovering the path that you want to take. I myself started a company in 2012 called Rainmaker Solutions, specifically for women who are on a career break. And that gave me an insight into the challenges that women face, and they're varied, but then again, they're very similar. So that's when the whole conception of this idea, of this initiative called Break to Breakthrough happened. And over the years, working with women, I have evolved it into not just for women who are on a career break, but for all women who are looking to make any kind of a career transition, any kind of movement, any kind of change that they want to make as far as their work-life equation is concerned. So that's Break to Breakthrough.
Amazing. That's so inspiring. And I really wish, I met you 20 years back, or we had platforms like SECHI's then. But of course, women are luckier today with a lot of experts like you to help with this transition. Before we jump on deep into the topic, I would just like to, give a very short introduction of you. I mean, I won't be doing justice, but still let me attempt. So Shraddha is an ICF certified career transition coach with over 200 hours of individual coaching experience. She's passionate about helping people create a better version of themselves with clarity, courage, and conviction. Very, very short, but let's now delve straight into the topic. So what are some of the common challenges that women encounter in your experience when they have a career break?
So over the years, whenever I have, worked with women who are on a career break or are looking to take a break, even women who are young mothers, they're not very happy with the way things are going. They are contemplating taking a break. The challenges remain common. So primarily it all comes from the overwhelming number of roles and responsibilities that a woman is wrapped up in most of the times. And so they manifest themselves into challenges like frustration, into emotional difficulties to understand what you actually want, anger issues, which also then translate into anxiety at times. One of the most common ones among women and also among men that I have encountered is the lack of self-confidence, which I think is a very natural byproduct of all of these emotional roller coaster that the woman goes through all of these changes. So the changes, the magnitude of changes that a woman faces are really large. However, the one biggest challenge that I have noticed, and I would take the liberty of saying in all women, is the fear of judgment. Each and every choice, each and every decision that a woman makes, somewhere the fear of judgment drives it. So we don't even realize it at times. It's so inherent. However, this fear of judgment is driving the choices that a woman makes. So it gets really difficult to deal with this particular fear among women, and it doesn't matter. It could be a stay-at-home mom. It could be a high-flying working professional. The fear of judgment, the challenge remains common throughout. So yeah, this is one of the major challenges that I have faced.
I completely resonate with you.
Yes.
And I think whatever stage we are, some of these issues remain common.
Yes.
But coming to some of the solutions, can you give some examples of some women, how they can actually, get through this transition in a better way, how they can deal with this challenge?
Right. So most of the times when a woman reaches out to me, there is some sort of a primary discontentment or dissatisfaction with the work-life equation. So that is primarily the issue. One of the women who came to me was, she just had a baby a few months back, and she had quit work while she was on a maternity break, because she was very clear that I want to be a hands-on mother. But later she realized that, no, I need to get back to work, which is fine. That happens to all of us, right? And she started scouting out for assignments for work. And that's when she reached out to me saying that something seems off. I'm not happy. I'm not okay with doing this. I am doing it. I'm looking for work, but somehow something's not, sounding right, or it's not seeming the right choice. So then we started talking, and through conversations, she realized that she still wanted to be a hands-on mother, and she should probably look for work, which is she was always a full-time brand manager, and she should look for something else which allows her the control over her time and all of that. So then she started looking out for part-time assignments, for things that she hadn't even thought about. So she did not even think about the fact that I should not be looking for a full-time assignment. Maybe I want something that is part-time. But through conversations, she actually realized what she wanted. So sometimes this is about goals. Sometimes we think we want something when what we actually really want is lying beneath the layers. And it's very important to realize that, to uncover those layers and understand what you really, really want. Because otherwise all your efforts are going to eventually land you again into that restlessness, that discontentment. Something seems off wala situation. So unless and until you are very clear what you want, you are not going to, your efforts are not going to be that fruitful. In another situation, there was a mother who had reasonably grown up children, and she was looking to do much more with her potential, with her skills. She was a stay-at-home mom. She had worked earlier, and now she wanted to get back to work. So when she came to me, there was only, I want to do something. That was her goal. Okay. And honestly, that was a tough one. While it sounds very simple, it was very tough, because there was years and years of self-talk that we had to deal with, that had culminated itself into lack of self-confidence, some amount of disillusionment. So we went on discussing, peeling layer by layer, looking at each concern one by one. And eventually she realized what she actually wants to do. So the conversations actually just made her realize what she wants. So that's also possible, but coaching can also help you uncover that part, that, this is what I want to do, and then make your efforts accordingly. She is a budding entrepreneur today. So that's a success. So yeah, so basically it's primarily understanding what you want and focusing all your actions towards that.
So in your view, coaching really helps in this transition?
So according to me, coaching really helps overall. In case of a women, it takes, in case of women specifically who are at a cusp of any career transition, it does entail some form of it's a more complicated process, because there are so many aspects attached to that particular individual. So it is not just about roles and responsibilities. It is also about the entire internal engineering that the woman has done. So whatever that she has told herself, her experiences, her relationships, and everything that has taught, we need to unlearn that. So in case of a woman, yes, coaching really helps to get from where you are to where you want to be. What specifically in this area it helps is to realize that there are going to be setbacks. So there are going to be challenges. There are going to be change management friction. There is going to be some form of friction, because you're changing, right? You're making some sort of a transition. The idea is not just to go ahead and do something. The idea is to prepare yourself to manage these challenges, to manage these changes. A lot of us get demotivated when you face that setback, face a failure. So it is very important to understand that it is not a linear process. It is not about just bas abhi start kiya and there I am. It's not that. It is going to be, it's like, the ocean. When it is going from a low tide to a high tide, the waves will ebb and flow. So if you take two steps forward, there is going to be one step backward. But from a bigger picture, when you move back, you will see that the waves have moved from A to B, right? From low tide to high tide.
Right.
Similarly, if you have to give yourself time. Progress takes time. Growth takes time. As long as you are clear that you're taking the steps in the right direction, you're actually taking action towards what you really want, what you should really do, you will be there. It will take time, but you will get there. So in this particular context, coaching plays an invaluable role. A coach can be your accountability partner, your consistency partner, your motivational partner. You need somebody sometimes to give you that nudge, give you that push. Most women are smart enough to understand what is it that they need to do. Sometimes the problem lies as to why they are not doing what they need to do. Right. I don't ever have to tell women as to, ye aisa karo, aisa karo. A coach never does that anyway. It is about understanding what is stopping them and then dealing with that. So yeah, so basically coaching will definitely help. As you said in my introduction, the courage part and the clarity part are what coaching would lend to each and every woman.
Thanks. So one thing I wanted to ask you was, is the coaching process different for somebody, looking to come back from a career break, or is it similar to any other coaching process?
So the layout, the process would primarily remain the same. The process changes. In fact, the process changes with each woman. Even if there are two women on a career break, with each individual, the process would change in the basic fact that the goal setting, what a person wants, needs to be identified. And sometimes I have done 2-3 sessions just figuring out what she really wants, and the goals have actually changed.
Right.
So yes, there is a little bit of work that happens in the self-discovery space. So the first session is always about discovering who you are, identifying your focus areas, what comprises your life, and which part of your life do you want to right now focus on. It sounds simple enough, but when you go ahead and do it, you yourself you'll surprise yourself by the answers that you find within yourself. So the whole process begins with this discovery as to what you want, what you should understand, to what you want, the goal, and then how that goal integrates with your existing life, how it actually finds its place in your setup. Because sometimes what you want might not be congruent with how your life situation is, because there are a lot of factors which are not in your control. Right? You have to take into consideration your physical environment, the structure that you're working with. We know that things change. I mean, the last year has taught us that there are so many things that are out of our control. So keeping all of that in mind, we have to find the place for that particular goal. And then it all becomes a process of finding out possible strategies to reach that goal and making sure that the action that is required to be reaching that goal is taken. So a coach and the coachee both together try to move towards that goal. The process is mota-moti the same. The only thing that differs is the challenges differ. The emotional part takes sometimes the forefront in certain cases.
Right. So what is that one message that you want to give to all women who are looking to make this comeback?
Okay, I want to give 2 messages. One is that obviously break to breakthrough, it is a possibility. That's how break to breakthrough is actually working, that it is possible to come back after a break, irrespective of all the challenges and everything that you have taught yourself or said to yourself or others are telling you. Actually, the one thing that I would like to say is, whenever you are making a choice or taking a decision, the choice or the decision is not going to be the right one or the wrong one. You need to ask yourself why you are making that decision, the reason for the choice or the decision has to be right. When you make a decision which is for the wrong reasons, there is going to be regret in future. So the why, the more whys that you ask yourself, the better you'll be at making the right choices in your life. So make the choices for the right reason, and then you'll understand that, there'll be no regret. It's difficult. It's one of the most, it does need courage, but when you do things for the right reason, eventually the result will be positive.
Thank you. So this session was very, very insightful.
Thank
and
you.
I'm sure many, many women are going to benefit from their coaching sessions with you. So
Yeah.
any last words for Sechis or for women out there making this transition?
Okay, for Sechis, yes, it's always a blast talking to you guys, and you guys have always understood women and what they need and what their actual requirements are, and to have that integration between my passion and yours. I feel it's absolutely amazing for me to be on this platform. It's always a pleasure. And so I would thank you again for having me here. And yes, to all the women out there, if there is something that you want to do, I'm sure you will be able to do it. The desire has to be burning enough. That is the only thing that's really required.
Thanks, Shraddha.
Thank you.
Thanks
Thank
once
you,
again.
Saraswati. Thank you.